Right. So again, I'm not going to go back what is aerobic, anaerobic, and that whole process of respiration. But yes, there are quite a few experiments to prove this whole of this respiration process, and there are 5 such experiments. First one is the experiment to prove that oxygen is used up in the respiration process. So you have this experimental setup where you have a beaker which contains a liquid, and then there are these two conical flasks. So we'll see whole of this procedure in the experiment, and then we'll also come to the conclusion. So there is this flask A which contains germinating seeds, and flask B which also has germinating which also has seeds, but these are boiled seeds. That means they are being killed. Boiling kills the seed. Like boiled seeds, they will never germinate. So that's what is this flask B. So flask A, which you can see here, that has regular soaked or germinating seed, and flask B has dead beans. So wet cotton is kept below the set so that it will provide water for both the samples. So both the situation, they have to be similar. That is when we do the certain experiment. So a small tube containing soda lime. Soda lime is nothing but a mixture of sodium hydroxide and a slaked lime. Slaked lime is nothing but again type of calcium hydroxide compound. So that is called as soda lime in mixture. The property of this soda lime is when it comes in contact with the carbon dioxide, it will absorb all the carbon dioxide and it will react with it, causing a turbid solution, because it will form that sodium carbonate, and which is like a little turbid in nature, and that will be generated within the solution. So a small tube containing soda lime is suspended in each flask for absorbing any CO2. So if you see, this is the this is the soda lime solution in the small test tube that you can see in both the cases. There is the small test tube which contains soda lime solution, and if at all the carbon dioxide is generated in this flask, it will get absorbed by the soda lime test tube. It will turn turbid. Same is the case here. If at all the carbon dioxide is generated, will get absorbed and become turbid. So that is the direct indication of this experiment. So after a few days, after this whole of the experimental setup is kept for a few days, the delivery tube connected with a flask A will show a greater rise in water level. So now this is the delivery tube. If you see this, which is kind of bent twice, you can call it like a inverted L-shaped tube, and this tube is dipped inside. Now if you carefully look at this diagram, the water level in the flask A connecting tube or this delivery tube is up to the point where my cursor is, while in the other case it is just up to here, right? That is with the flask B. So after few days, the delivery tube connected with the flask A will show a greater rise in water level. When a burning paper is introduced into each flask after removing their corks. Corks, these are these rubber corks which are kind of holding the flask like airtight, so that no air can be exchanged from inside to outside. So when the cork is removed and the burning paper is held inside the conical flask, the flame is immediately put off in the flask A, while it continues for a short while in flask B. This is an indication that oxygen is completely taken by these germinating seeds. While in this case, because there is no germination happening, so whatever oxygen was there inside the flask is there, so that will be helpful for burning that paper. So the burning paper stays a little longer, like in the burning stage in the flask B. So that is one other indication what happens to the oxygen within this experimental setup. So this proves that oxygen was absent in flask A because it was containing the germinating seeds. So obviously it will be utilized by these seeds that will do photosynthesis, that will exhale carbon dioxide, and because of this carbon dioxide also it will soda lime solution will turn turbid. So these will take up all the oxygen. will generate carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide will turn this soda lime solution more turbid or more non-transparent. Where is that point? Yeah, this proves that oxygen was absent in flask A and showing that thereby it was used up by the germinating seeds, and the volume of oxygen so used up was indicated by the water level. So it's obvious that oxygen was present in an airtight container. It will be used up by the plant. So that means they will kind of reduce in volume, and that reduction in volume is compensated by increase in this volume. That means it's like kind of sucking action that happens. Something has to come to from this delivery tube inside the flask, and because the other end of this delivery tube is inserted in this water, this level will increase. So that is the simpler setup that is being explained. Now we need to know why is there a slight increase in the level of water in the delivery tube of flask B. So flask B, initially it would be almost at the same level like water. There is a slight increase. Can anyone think why would it increase? Don't look at me like that. Can anyone say why do you think this level? Did you get the experiment by the way? I just went in my own flow.
No, I got it.
I forgot to ask. Understood, no?
Because of that,
Yeah, Nilofar.
because of the addition of water.
Addition of water.
O2.
In flask B, where will the addition of O2 will come? Maybe anyone else want to say something?
I had a question.
Hmm?
Won't the germinating beans, won't they release oxygen also?
They will release the oxygen during photosynthesis. This germinating seeds, they don't do photosynthesis, they first do respiration.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, they will also do photosynthesis. But usually this kind of experiment, they are done in a little dark, so that there is no photosynthesis happening. People are waiting. Here, what do you think?
I think that because of the beans that are decaying, there'll be carbon dioxide released. But I don't know why the oxygen is released.
No, why? Where is the question of oxygen here? See, the question is, in this flask A situation, the carbon dioxide is generated, and that's why the soda lime turns turbid or non-transparent. Oxygen is utilized present from the flask. So that is when the water level will be kind of sucked in through this tube, and that is why the water level increase in the flask A situation. But in flask B, where the original water level was with the water level of this beaker, and you can see there is a slight increase. Why is that the case?
Little CO2 in the other one, no?
In this flask B.
Yeah, there will be like, let's say there would be a little, no?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that react with the soda lime?
That will react with the soda
So
lime.
water will get sucked up.
No.
That's not why the water is getting. So is it because the beans are dead?
Yeah, so what happens when the beans are dead?
No, nothing happens. No, they're dead.
Well, that means they'll not absorb the CO2.
Sorry, Snehashish?
If the beans are dead, then they'll not absorb CO2.
That's
They
right.
will give
And
out.
they, yeah, and they'll not use oxygen also.
Correct. So Namit has partially answered that question.
Huh? What did you say again? I said fungus.
No,
I
prior
said
to
there
that.
will already be a little CO2.
Yes. So within this conical flask B, there will be little CO2, right? That CO2 will ultimately interact with the soda lime here. So that space will be taken up by the water, and that's when the little rise in the water will happen.
But I said the exact same thing. Yeah, you're correct.
You-
He was confusing you.
And you said it half. You
I
didn't
said
say
the
it
exact
completely.
same thing. I think
Okay.
you just got confused.
And the another question is, which of these two flasks is a control? I assume we discussed about the control and experiment setup.
No.
So in biology, whichever experiment we do, we always have a control setup. That means everything else is same, and one without sample. So let's say, for example, like now I'm giving you an example from the actual studies that I had done. Let's say I inject a paracetamol solution into the rat, right? And then I will have 6 rat as a experimental setup and 6 rat as a control setup. And the purpose of this study is to study the effects of paracetamol on the rat, a simplest example. So if I am injecting paracetamol in the 6 experimental setup, 6 set of rats, and in the control setup, I will inject but plain water and not the paracetamol. Same amount of like whatever amount of paracetamol I have injected in the experimental setup, similar amount of water I will inject in the control setup, so that I would know that due to the injection there are no effect into the rats. So that is like a control setup. So in this situation also, what we usually do is we keep a control setup where everything else is same except the main sample. So in this case, the main sample was germinating seed, and in this case, it was the boiled or dead seed. And that way, this setup also acts as the control setup. Another way it acts as a control setup is, let's say the carbon dioxide is present in this flask as well as this flask. So ideally both the soda lime tubes, they should show the similar turbidity. But in this case, the turbidity would be more because the carbon dioxide generated by the seeds will be more, and that's why this solution of the soda lime will become more turbid, and this one will remain at the environmental carbon dioxide level. So that way this setup B acts as a control of this situation or the experiment. I hope this part is clear. Okay, so that was the first experiment. Then there is second experiment to prove that carbon dioxide is produced during respiration in the germinating seed. And yeah, this is the experimental setup. Setup is again relatively very simpler. So you take these flasks, you keep wet cotton, again the same, you keep germinating seeds which are soaked in water, and then you put it in the flask A. In the other flask, same setup, just the boiled seeds, so they are dead, and you allow them to germinate over I guess 3 to 4 days. Few days later it says. So flask is again securely corked and so on. The most important thing that we do in this experiment is use of antiseptic like carbolic acid. Like boric acid, everyone would know of. Like when you are wounded, medical unit usually gives you boric acid powder. That's like antiseptic. So those kind of antiseptic, they are used with the boiled seeds so that there is no growth of bacteria. And if there is a growth of bacteria which otherwise would respire and release carbon dioxide, so that will give a false result of the experiment. So to avoid the bacterial growth, the antiseptic powders or solutions are used. So in such cases, so obviously these are the germinating seeds, they will take up the oxygen, they will release carbon dioxide. And then what you do is, from this solution, you decant that, like it is shown in the third solution. Whatever gas is there, you put it into the lime water solution or the soda lime solution. So again, if there is carbon dioxide in this flask, it will be poured into this tube, which will ultimately cause this tube to turn turbid. And same we do with the flask B, because there will be almost no carbon dioxide. This solution, this gas from this flask B will not cause turbidity in the lime water solution. So that's the simplest experiment. Again, whole of the write up you have to write like you take a flask, you put the wet cotton, then you put germinating seed and so on and so forth. So that I am not discussing, but this experimental setup, if you look at, it will be very easy. And this is the experiment to prove that germinating seeds, they respire carbon dioxide or they give out carbon dioxide. So that way this lime water acts as an additional proof point. I hope you are following, and I'm kind of just pushing through because these experiments are relatively very simple. Alternative to the earlier experiment, that is the experiment 2, where we need to check that carbon dioxide is respired or given out by the plant. So if you look in this arrow direction, so this is the starting point, this is the end point. So air is drawn by suction from this flask. So what happens is air will be pulled into the soda lime water, all the carbon dioxide from that air will react, and the rest of the air minus carbon dioxide will be flowing through this tube into the flask. Now again the same thing is done, and this air which is going out from flask B to flask C will be almost carbon dioxide free, because in both of these tanks or flasks that would have reacted with the solution, so carbon dioxide will not be there at all, and that will come to flask C. It will obviously have oxygen because it's air, an air. So there the plant will, or these germinating seeds will take up the oxygen, they will grow and release the carbon dioxide. Now incoming air had no carbon dioxide, but the outgoing air will have carbon dioxide. So when this air is passed through the flask which contains lime water, it will turn turbid because the carbon dioxide is coming. If the plants were not, or the seeds were not able to respire, or if there was no carbon dioxide generation in the flask D, ideally there shouldn't have been any turbidity. So that is the whole sequence of this like experiment, which is just an alternative to the previous one, where we prove that carbon dioxide is released by the germinating seeds through the respiration process. Okay, any question? Then the third experiment is to prove that carbon dioxide is produced by the green plant during the respiration process. And this is specifically talking of the green plant. So instead of seeds, what we do here is we take the whole plant itself. So we take a potted plant, again the same set of experiment like we did in the earlier alternative experiment. So you bring in the air, pass it through the lime water, which will absorb all the carbon dioxide. So the outgoing air from this, which will be CO2 free, that will be dropped into this bell jar, so the air that will contain oxygen will be utilized by the plant. Plant will respire oxygen, so carbon dioxide will be given out. So when this air is flowing through the next flask, which again contains lime water, will turn milky or turbid, and that is an indication of that this plant has given out carbon dioxide. It's again a very simplest setup. I hope you people don't have any question, but if at all, please ask. Next set of experiment is the experiment to show that heat is evolved during respiration. Now this we had seen in the, while we were looking at the equation, a little bit amount of heat is generated. So what is done is, again you take a flask containing, filled with seeds, these are germinating seeds, and these flask has boiled or dead seeds with antiseptic, again to avoid the bacterial growth. So and you put a thermometer with the wet cotton wool on the tip of this flask. So due to this moisture, the seeds will start germinating. They will do the process of respiration. They will release heat and carbon dioxide. Due to the heat generated, the temperature will be increased in this thermometer. In the contrary, there will be no temperature change in this control setup where there are dead cells. So that's another simplest setup to prove that heat is evolved during respiration process. And the last experiment is again to demonstrate that the anaerobic type of respiration can happen. So what is done is, this is a kind of test tube which is filled with mercury. Even in the beaker, there is mercury in both this. Rather, this is the situation first, and after a few days, it goes to this situation 2. So mercury is filled in this test tube. Few of the germinating seeds are put at the end, and then the tube is inverted and dipped inside the beaker, like it is shown in the diagram. So obviously, these seeds, they will start germinating because there will be a little bit of moisture and little bit of oxygen for that germination process to happen. This will release carbon dioxide, so that means it will increase in volume. That's what will push the mercury down, and that increase in space can be tested as that these seeds are germinating. Also, to check that only CO2 is generated, what we do is again take a potassium hydroxide stick, and you insert it inside, and that will again give a turbid solution, right? So, or you decant this carbon dioxide, remove the mercury, decant this carbon dioxide in the lime water solution. You should again get the turbidity, and that is an indication this is CO2, and that's why the seeds are germinating. So that's it. These are the experiment. Does anyone have any question? Yes.
Even if you do this without the seeds, the thing goes down, right?
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's how the barometer works.
Yeah, but then this is like kind of the edge of this test tube is touching to the beaker.
Okay.
So only a certain push can allow that, like push in terms of volume is increasing, that itself is a push here. Okay. If no one has any question, then we can stop here. We are done with this chapter.